Be talking gold and looking forward to having Angie back in the show. She was away last week. Ainsley, are you with us this week to give us some insight into this gold market?
I am. Unfortunately, there's nothing exciting to tell you at the moment. It's just been. I'm going to share my screen. See you, Ash. Let's go. There we go. Okay. During the week, we've been looking. My left-hand chart is a 4-hourly chart. The next one to the right is a daily chart, and then we've got a weekly chart, and obviously monthly over tucked on the side. But we've been in this crazy consolidation now for quite some time. It hasn't really done it justice as far as what's it doing, how's it responding to the US dollar. The gold is highly correlated to the US 10-year Treasury bond yield. It's also traded against mainly the US dollar. And even though we've seen volatility in both those areas, gold is being caught in, well, we could call it a love triangle if you like, but you can see there is no traction. It goes in one direction and then it immediately reverses and comes back in. And this is where we have seen, I posted this just before it went to the high on this bar here in our trading group to say there is just nothing to trade here, guys. It really isn't. And then I posted, then we've got this going to here. It's come back down and it's just sat. It just sat there. It's just sort of pondering between the pivot, which is a weekly pivot. So it's a really strong pivot, and a weekly support level. And it's just sitting there. Julian has touched on what we are looking at going forward to a waning in the US dollar as far as it stopped that, and yields are looking a bit high, and we're looking for that to come off as well. If I can get both of those things happening at the same time, and perhaps a bit more interesting gold as a resource, that would be great. I would like to see us bounce off this level down here and move it along. Commitment of traders report. Ash has just done oil and dollar yen, but if you actually also look at that on the, hang on, I'm just trying to pull up. No, it's all right. I will just go back to my other chart. If we just stick with what was happening on the commitment of traders report, we're starting to see a change from the commercials going short to the commercials easing off going short to a potential going long. So if we go with that thesis and sit tight and wait, I think we could almost cross our fingers, get out of this revolting consolidation box, which has been going on for quite some time. The other thing going on a technical point of view, and I'll just make this a little bit wider so we can see, is you look at a monthly chart from the top of 2065, I think we got to, or 2072, from a low down here in 2018 of, what was it, 1161. Got this massive bull flag happening here. This is on the weekly. It's a really big picture to be looking at, but that's the best part of $915, by the way, from there to there. If this does continue to go to the upside, so let's look at this on a very technical basis, by the way. We've got a ring low, bouncing off the 100 EMA, off a monthly support level, and the bottom end of a channel. So this area of confluence is actually really, really strong. No doubt, no wonder it did bounce. This is why I'm looking for, if we get some traction and it closed this week over 1750, I'm hoping that we're going to have a combination of a few other things with the unemployment rates and everything else coming out during the week that will play into this technical setup that we're seeing now. Like I said, it's a weekly chart. It's a big move. It's not something that we can go, oh, great, we go along tomorrow. We need to get out of this consolidation box happening over here on the floor. You can see just happening here, just bouncing. It's not even funny anymore. I've lost all my fingernails just drumming them into the table, waiting for something to happen. But this is trading. Sometimes it just doesn't happen. You've got to be patient and wait for the big moves. So that's what I am looking at the moment on gold. I'm waiting patiently, hoping that we can do something more than inside bars and followed by outside bars, and that we can go somewhere. So hopefully, fingers crossed, guys, that we don't have to wait for too much longer. Over to you, Paul.
Cheers, Ainsley. Thanks for that. I think we all know in trading, the longer we stay still, the bigger the move that follows. And for markets to range for long periods of time, and gold's done this before. It's not unique. Perhaps it's unique at this time of year, but it's unusual at this time of year. But you would expect at some stage we are going to see it come out and bounce away in some form of direction.
Yep. I'll be back for oil later.